Hi, I'm Margaret Peterson Haddix, the author of the Under Their Skin series and lots of others. The Under Their Skin series includes Under Their Skin and the second book, which is called In Over Their Heads, and I'm going to read you the first chapter of Under Their Skin. You're doing what? Nick exploded. Getting married again, Mom said calmly. She took a sip of her coffee. People do it all the time. Not you, Nick said. You don't. You're too... Erin had to kick him under the breakfast table. She was pretty sure his next word was going to be weird, or strange, or too much of an oddball. It wasn't that Erin thought she could read Nick's mind because they were twins. She was just good at figuring people out. This morning, she'd known the minute she woke up that something unusual was happening. Even from her snug cocoon of a bed, she'd been able to smell Mom's turkey, sausage, and egg substitute casserole. Mom only made that casserole for special occasions, like Christmas morning. And, okay, only Christmas, Erin thought. In her entire 12 years of life, Erin couldn't think of a single other time Mom had made that casserole. But every December 25th, Mom made 2 pans of it. One to have with Nick and Erin, and one for Dad to take to Grandma and Grandpa's after he dropped off Nick and Erin. Mom and Dad had been divorced since Erin and Nick were babies, but it was what they called an amicable divorce. Everybody was nice to everybody else. But now, if Mom's getting married again, will everything change? Erin wondered. Is that why Mom wants us to think today is as special as Christmas? So we start out with a good attitude? Erin looked down at the table in front of her. Besides the special breakfast casserole, there was also a pan of the cinnamon rolls that Mom usually made only for Nick and Erin's birthday. The orange juice in the glasses looked fresh squeezed. And even though it was a Saturday morning, it kind of seemed like Mom had dressed up for breakfast. Mom wasn't the type to lounge around in sweatpants anyhow, so it was hard to tell. But the wool blazer, silk blouse, and perfectly styled hair were over the top even for Mom. Erin realized that Nick was glaring at her with an expression that clearly said, "Okay, genius, if you don't like what I was going to say, why don't you do the talking?" Sometimes they did kind of have twin telepathy. Erin took a tiny sip of her juice. Yep, it had definitely been surrounded by orange peel only a few moments ago. Congratulations, Mom, Erin said, trying to sound enthusiastic. That's great! I bet you and Michael will be really happy together. She darted her eyes at Nick as if to say, There, that's the best I can do. It's your turn. Just don't say you think Michael is weird too, even though he is. Really, weren't all adults weird? Mom blinked in her usual slow, thoughtful way. I know you're both wondering how this will affect your lives, she said, because you are preteens. And preteens, facing all the changes of adolescence, are predisposed to be a little self-obsessed. This really was how Mom talked. She was a middle school psychologist. She got paid to talk like that. No, we're just happy for you, Erin said, forgetting she'd planned to let Nick speak next. Mom blinked again. When she was little, Erin had asked Mom once if all that blinking was a sign that her brain was turning off and on, or switching channels. Mom had laughed so hard at that. Nonsense, Mom said. It's perfectly normal to be concerned about your own well-being. I won't lie to you. You will have to adjust to some big changes, but I think they are changes that will enrich your lives. Nick stabbed his fork into his turkey sausage. Michael will be around a lot more, he said. Right? That's a change. He glanced at Erin. But that's okay. I like Michael. Mom let Nick play video games when Michael was around. Somehow Erin didn't think Mom meant more of that would be enriching. What if, once they're married, Michael thinks he gets to tell us what to do all the time? Erin wondered. What if he starts yelling at Nick for playing video games? Or tells me I have to play too? What if he thinks he gets to tell us to do our homework and clean our rooms? After the wedding, Michael will be here all the time, right? Erin asked, trying not to sound like she thought that would be disastrous. He'll move in with us? Something worse occurred to her. He wouldn't expect us to move in with him, would he? She had never actually been to Michael's condo. Mom had always had a policy of not letting Nick and Erin spend too much time with anyone she dated. Dad did the same thing. It had something to do with child psychology and with Mom and Dad not wanting Nick and Erin to get too attached to someone who might not be around very long. Since Nick and Erin spent every other week at Mom's and every other week at Dad's, this always worked out. But Mom and Michael had been dating for 2 years. Now that Erin thought about it, wasn't it kind of weird that she and Nick had never seen where Michael lived? When he was going to become their stepfather? There, Erin had let herself think the dreaded word. Mom patted Erin's shoulder. "Don't worry," Mom said. "Michael and I discussed where we're going to live, and we wanted to make sure we're fair to everyone. We don't want to make it like anyone is moving into anyone else's turf. That's why we're going to buy a house that's totally new to everyone." "What?" Nick exploded once again. He dropped his fork and bolted half out of his chair. "We're moving?" This time, Erin didn't kick him under the table. But, Erin sputtered, "we've lived here our whole lives. Our whole lives when we weren't at Dad's, I mean, which I guess is our whole lives half the time, but..." It wasn't like Erin to be at a loss for words, but she was now. "I was hoping we could have this discussion calmly, and you could fully adjust to thinking about only one change at a time," Mom said. "But yes, we're going to move." Mom gently maneuvered Nick back into his chair. She kept her hand firmly on his shoulder. She put her other hand back on Erin's shoulder, too, keeping her in place. "Don't worry," Mom said. "We're doing everything we can to keep any negative impact on the two of you to a minimum. We'll stay in Maywood, so you won't have to change schools. And we'll look for a house that's no more than 10 or 15 minutes away from your dad's house. So, sure, we'll be living in a different structure, but nothing else of any importance will change." Sometimes Erin felt like she had to translate Mom's school psychologist's gobbledygook in her head. Sometimes that meant it took her brain a while to catch up with Mom's words. This was one of those times. "Wait a minute," Erin said, shaking Mom's hand off her shoulder. "You said something about only one change at a time. You're getting married, we're moving. What else are you going to spring on us?" Mom opened her mouth, but it felt like a full minute passed before anything came out. "Can't we just take this one change at a time?" she asked faintly. "Oh no," Nick said. "What else is there?" He was looking at Erin, not Mom. His dark brown eyes drilled into her identically dark brown eyes. At times like this, Erin didn't just feel like they were twins. They were teammates. They were partners. They were two halves of the same brain. It was them against Mom. "What else could there be?" Erin asked, waving her arms dramatically. "What else happens when you get a stepdad? It's not like Michael has kids, so we won't have to deal with stepbrothers or stepsisters. Or..." Mom made the tiniest sound in the back of her throat, and Erin whirled on her. "Mom?" Erin said. "Does Michael have kids?" Nick asked. "Kids you somehow never bothered telling us about?" Erin added. Mom pursed her lips. She blinked 3 times. "Well, actually, yes," she said. Her tone changed, switching to her "I'm the mom and I'm in charge, don't question me" voice. Her sweep everything under the rug voice. "Michael does have kids, but don't worry, I promise you'll never have to meet them." So that's the end of Chapter 1 of Under Their Skin. Thank you.